later. Okay, the recording has started. Sorry. Yes, you guys wanted to point something out about the quiz. Please go ahead.
और सर ये क्वेश्चन 8 जो है इसमें ऑप्शन है कि the add symbol in C++ cannot be used to compare the values of two variables.
Yes.
हम यानी add a is equal to
At nahi, it's ampersand. Yeah. Okay, but please go ahead.
तो ये तो हो सकता है नहीं C++ में हो सकता है
कैसे?
मैं आपको कोड भेजता हूँ
चलें भेजें.
एड्रेस कंपेयर कर रहे हैं ना हम
नहीं वैल्यू कंपेयर कर रहे हैं. कहाँ पे है?
इस तरह से तो हम एड्रेस कंपेयर कर रहे हैं यानी
No,
काफी स्टेटमेंट है
Just a minute. Here the comparison is being done by this equal operator in the code that you have written. The ampersand operator or symbol is just used to take the address of a variable. Here, ampersand A will take the address of A, ampersand B will take the address of B, and equal will compare them.
अच्छा तो ये तो काफी वैसे एम्बिगुअस सा क्वेश्चन था
कैसे? और ये जो आपने जो ऑप्शन सेलेक्ट किया हुआ है ये तो यानी कि पॉइंटर्स में हमने सबसे पहली चीज यही पढ़ी थी कि हाउ टू टेक द एड्रेस ऑफ वेरिएबल बाय यूजिंग दिस एम्परसैंड ऑपरेटर.
वो तो सही है खैर ओके
Okay, so what else? For the question asked if I is an integer, would cout I plus plus and plus plus I output the same value on the screen? I put false, but lost marks respect itself confirmed correct answer. The answer should be false. Let me verify. Just give me a minute. It was in the last quiz, right? Yes. Okay, you guys are right. It was my mistake. And the correct answer is false. Okay. So all those who pointed out false should get 1 mark for this question. Okay. So you guys can, tell me. I'll try to, when I put it on CMS, I will try to take it into account. But if still there's a problem when it is put on CMS, you guys can remind me again and it will be corrected. Okay. Any other question regarding the quizzes? Okay, I'm assuming there's no more questions about the quizzes. So this question about the lab final. Will the lab final contain any weightage for CS103? I do not understand this question, but lab final basically is this the project that you are going to do, this tic-tac-toe game, and the Viva that you will pass for that submission, that will be your lab final. I did not understand what did you mean by this question. Sam, if you could please unmute. And the format of the Viva, I don't know, you have to ask the lab instructor. They will do the Viva. And again, how long it will be, you have to ask them. And basically, they will be asking about the code that you will submit. So you should know every line that you have written or submitted. You should know what it is doing. They might ask about anything in the files that you submit. We'll come to the course final, but first if anybody else has any question about this. No, tomorrow is not the, it's not the Viva, it's a Q&A, you're right. So tomorrow you have a session arranged by your lab instructors. So you can ask them any questions that you have about the Viva or about the lab final, you can ask them tomorrow. Okay. And also about the assignment, about the project. If you have any question, confusion about the projects, you can ask them. Okay, is it good about the lab final? Oh, I have told everybody who has marked the question false will get the marks. They can ask about anything about the code. Can we use built-in functions in lab project? No, I don't think so. You don't need a lot of built-in functions. Most of the work you will be doing yourself. You can use some built-in function, like for example, every time you display that tic-tac-toe game, you will have to first clear the screen, the previous screen. Okay, so there is a function called clear screen that you can use, and some other similar functions you can use, but most of the work you will be doing it yourself using loops, arrays, cout, cin, etc. Any other question about the lab panel? Saad Khan, I am going to mute you. Okay, how to create a pause? That's a very good question. Again, look it up. For this, you can use built-in functions. Yes, if you want to create a pause, again, there'll be some built-in functions to stop your program temporarily for some time. For this, you can use built-in functions, yes. But I'm not going to tell you how. You'll have to look it up, Google or whatever. All those who are talking about that question, I+++++, you will get the marks. So please move ahead. No, Usman Tahir, now is not the time to, explain how to make a pause. Let them do it themselves. And any questions about the lab final?
Sir, where is pause needed in the lab final?
For every turn that you have to do, first you take the input from the user, and then you will display the grid with the user input. Okay, and then it will be the turn of the computer. Between the user and the computer, you will give a small pause. Okay, otherwise the computer will, it will be so fast that the user and the computer, their both results will appear immediately. Yes, you can use any, for pause, you can use anything that you find. Okay, and a built-in function, whether it is Windows or some other C++. C++ also will have some internal functionality, but you are free to use anything that you can get. Okay, passing 2D arrays is slightly different from passing 1D arrays. Again, I invite you to, use your Googling powers. Part of the assignment is to get you guys to, try to look up stuff, to learn stuff for yourselves. So there are slight things that are not taught in the lecture or course, but are needed for the assignment. For this assignment, they are very small, so you should be able to look them up without any problems. But later on, this gap will increase, and you will have to, do assignments yourself. Part of the learning process. Can we take help from Google? You can take help in the sense that you cannot copy paste anything. Okay. And secondly, whatever you submit, every line you should be able to explain or rewrite. If they ask you to rewrite, you will have to rewrite it. Would they check for plagiarism? Ask them tomorrow. Okay, so I think they will be better able to guide you about the project because they will be checking the project. Okay, so I think I will stop taking questions about the lab project and finals, and let's move over to our final, the course final. Full stack developer. Okay, I don't know, is it in Pashto action or accent, or full stack developer is something pulling code from internet. Okay, good. Okay, let's talk about course final. So your course final will be whenever it will be on a date sheet, and this will be a paper-based final. Okay, and you will be basically given small questions, printed code or questions, and you will have to answer it on an answer sheet. Okay? There will be mainly 3 types of questions in your final. Type 1 questions, there will be a small piece of code given, and for each piece of code you will have 3 or 4 options like an MCQ. Okay, so you will have to see the code, understand it, and guess the correct output of that code, and then choose the correct output from the options given on the paper. Okay, is it clear? I'll give you an example also, but for the moment, the first type of questions will be MCQ based question, where you will be given a small snippet of code and you will have to guess the output and choose the correct output from the options given. Okay? So this will be first type of questions. The second type of questions, again, you will be given small snippets of code and you will have to guess the output, but this time there will be no MCQs. You will have to guess and write the output as answer to that question. Okay, you will be given a blank space and you will have to write the output of that code when that code is executed. Okay, so you will only have to write the output. There will be no MCQs given. You have to guess and write the output. So this will be second type of questions. The third type of questions will be, you will be given small pieces of code, and those pieces of codes will have blanks in them, blank spaces. Okay? And there will be comments around those blank spaces telling you what this line of code is doing. Okay? So you will have to guess what that code is doing and then fill those blank spaces with appropriate code. Okay, to make that piece of snippet function like it is written in the comments. Okay, so in that case, you will be, for every blank line, you will be writing the code. No, the third type will not have MCQs. You will have to write the code, which when put in those blank spaces will be like make the function whole, and it will be able to run and work correctly. Okay, so on your answer sheet, you will be for each line missing blank, you will be answering by giving the code that should be put in that blank line.
सर
So,
ये टाइप 3 की एग्जांपल कुछ दे देंगे आप ये?
no, I'll give you one example of every type. Okay, so let us start with, let me see. So let me open Notepad. No, not Notepad. Just give me a minute. So let me share this code with you guys. Ask your questions later, okay? First, let me give you this example. So, can you guys see this code? Oops, no, it's too big. Too small. Amazing. So can you guys see this code? And for the moment, don't type the answers in the chat. Let me ask those people who have not been participating very regularly in the class. This way, the discussion will take longer and you guys will be able to see the code with enough time. So can you guys, is this code readable? Okay, good. So this is a question of type 1 where you are given a small snippet of code and you have to guess its output, and then you have 4 choices A, B, C, D, and then you have to guess the output and choose the correct answer. So let me ask somebody to take a guess. Let me see who is here. Ahmed Shah, are you there? Ahmed Shah is not there. Abdullah Khan, you will be our first victim. Can you guess what this code is doing?
Incrementing the
Try to take a minute and what do you think will be the output of this code? Hello, Abdullah, are you still with us?
yes, sir.
Okay, can you guess what this code is doing?
No, sir.
Okay, so who else can help us out? Khushal Khan, are you there? Khushal Khan is not there. Malik Bakh Jamal Sajid.
Yes, sir.
Can you guess what this code is doing? So there's an array declared on line number 2.
Yes, sir.
And line number 4 is basically assigning a value to I. What do you think will be the value assigned to I on line number 4? So tell me what's the value of A1? A square brackets 1. Jamal, it seems you need to revise.
Yes, sir.
Let me find another victim. Mohammad Nosher Imtiaz. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you help us out with this piece of code? We are declaring an array and then on line number 4 we are assigning a value to I. So what's the value of A1? A
2.
Very good. And on line number 4 what will be the value assigned to I?
The value of 5 will be 3.
The value of I will be 3. Good. And why do you say that?
Because I is being incremented by 1.
No, I is not being incremented. The value of A is being incremented. Value of A1 is being incremented and then assigned to I. Okay, it's a pre-increment, so it will increment before using the value. Okay, so the value assigned to I will be 3. Very good. And let's move to line number 5. What will be the value assigned to J?
The value of j will be 4.
The value of J will be 4. Why? Because I was 3, so A3 is 4. Good. And what will be the value of I? What value of I will be used in this line number 5?
The value of I is 3.
Good. And what will be the value of I after line number 5?
But
Hmm?
4.
4. Good. So what will be the output of this program?
Option B.
Option B, 4, 4. Okay, good. Because on line number 5, the value assigned to J was 4 because A3 was assigned and A3 is 4. So J gets 4. And after line number 5, the value of I also becomes 4. So see out IJ, the output will be 4, 4, which is option B. Okay, so you will have an answer sheet where you will have these options for every question. 1 ABCD, 2 ABCD, 3 ABCD. For question number 1, you will basically circle the option B. Okay, is it clear to everybody how we arrived at this option? Ozar, you want to ask something?
Yes, sir.
What?
Sir, on line number 5, when we are incrementing the value of I plus plus,
Hmm.
it gets updated after the line number 5. Or
Yes,
I am confused about it, sir.
that's the difference between pre-increment and post-increment. Pre-increment updates the value before using it in a statement. Post-increment will first use a value in that statement and then increment it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hamdan, you want to say something?
सर ये लाइन नंबर 4 में ये 3 होना चाहिए ना आउटपुट 4 कैसे हो गया?
whole line number 3, I gets assigned the value 3.
Sorry sir, line 4 sorry sir, line 4.
Yeah, line 4, I gets assigned the value 3. Is it clear?
Yes sir, तो आउटपुट भी 4 होना चाहिए ना सर?
No, no, output is 4. On line number 4, I gets assigned the value 3. Okay.
उसके बाद इंक्रीमेंट हुआ है.
Yes, by the time I arrives on line number 6, its value becomes 4 because it is incremented after line number 5.
Okay sir, thank you sir, thank you.
Anybody else has got any question about this question? Okay, so this will be like one type of question where you will have code and then some outputs will be given. Okay, and as you guys can see, this, I mean, the level of the final will be a little harder than the quizzes that you have been taking, for example, today. Okay, so you really need to have been doing some programming if you expect to get marks, good marks in this type of exam. Any questions about this? We'll come to how much it is. First, let me go through all types of questions. So is it clear? This first type of questions, what you will have to do, you will just have to guess the output and then choose the correct option based on the output. Can you run this? It's a picture, I will have to type it all. I can't, let me see if I can copy. Give me a minute. Okay, yeah, that's good. So let me share the screen with you. Zabardast. Let me share the screen with you guys and then you can run it. So here is this code. Okay. And we can then run this program to see. You see 4, it's written in the start of the line. There's no handle, so okay, let's put handle also. Yes, you can use debuggers or Python tutors to see step-by-step working and change how the values of the variables change. Do I have a site where we can practice such questions? I'm afraid not. These questions we'll be making at runtime, so I don't know whether you can find such similar questions somewhere on internet or not. I'm sorry. You guys can try Googling, but I don't know at least. Any other questions about first type of questions? Yes, CS 101 guys have been getting these type of questions in their midterms, etc. So you can take help or guidance from them. So I'm assuming there is no more questions about type 1 questions. So let us move to type 2 questions. Let me unshare the screen. Can you guys see this code? This is different from the first one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So in the second type of questions, you'll be given the snippet of code and you will have to give the output. Guess and then give the output. In the answer sheet, you will be given the question number and then a blank space. In that blank space, you will write only the output of the program when it will be run. Okay, nothing else, only the output. You can just assume that everything is correct, hash include, etc. And then when you compile and run this program, what will be the output of the program. Okay. So unlike the previous type of questions, here you are not given any options. This is not an MCQ based question, so you will have to, guess the output and write the output. So again, let us practice and ask another poor victim. And not poor because they have not been participating in any of the classes. So whom shall I ask? Zishan Ahmed, are you there? Hello, Zishan, are you there? Okay, no answer from Zishan. Who else can it be? Let's try Bakht Jamal again. Bakht Jamal, this question is relatively easier. Can you guess the output? No, please do not write spoilers. Acha, Zishan it is. Okay. Okay, Zishan, you have written 0, 1, 2. So Zishan, can you explain why it will output 0, 1, 2? On line number 4, will it first output the value and then increment, or will it first increment the value of I and then output? Very good. It's a post increment operator. So post increment operator basically first uses the value in the statement and then increments. Okay, so in this case the usage is basically output, so it will first output the value and then increment it. Okay, so I will be output 0 the first time and then increment it to 1. Okay? The second time I will be output 1 and then increment it to 2, and the third time I will be output 2 and then increment it to 3, and then the condition will become false and our program will end. Okay, so 0, 1, 2 is the correct output. Well done, Dishan. Is it clear to everybody? Does anybody has any questions about type 2 questions? No? Okay, I am assuming there are no questions about the second type of questions and everything is clear to everybody. So you will be getting these snippets of code, and in the answer sheet you will have to fill the output that you think will be on the screen when this type of snippets will be executed. Okay, so this is for the second type of questions, and let's move to third type. Is this code or text readable on the screen?
Yes, sir.
So good. So take a couple of minutes to go through the text and read it and see how you understand, and then I'll explain what you will have to do. Okay, so I hope you guys got a chance to read through the code. Okay. So first of all, I would like to point out, and you guys must have also remarked it, that the purpose of this code is described in, first of all, in the question statement. For example, here the question statement is telling you that the following program calculates the class average for 10 students in a quiz. Okay. So this is giving the overall, the goal of the code. And then with, sorry, let me bring it back. Yeah. And then with almost every line, you have got these comments. Okay. So / in C, C++, they are used for comments. And here basically these comments are telling you the purpose of every line of code. Okay. So it is telling you what that's entered so far, and the variable grade will be used to store the value of one grade. Okay, so grade here is basically the numbers that you marks that you have got in your exam, and the double variable average will be used to store the average of grades. Okay, so total is being initialized to 0, grade counter is being initialized to 1, and on line number 8 in the while statement between the parentheses you have a blank, which means blank would always mean in this type of question that some code is missing, and it is your job to put the correct code instead of the blank. Okay? And the comment at the end of the line is telling you or giving you a hint what this code should be. Okay, so here it's telling to fill in the condition, but by looking at the loop you can basically guess what will be the condition. Okay, we'll come back to the condition, but let's assume that for a certain number of times while that condition is true, this while loop will run. And what's happening inside the body of the while loop? It's asking the user to enter a grade, and then this line number 11, the comment is telling you to input the grade. Okay, so grade will be input by the user on this line, and you have to write the code to receive the user input. Okay, and then the next line, line number 12, the comment is telling you that add the grade to total. Okay, so the grade that user has entered or the marks that the user has entered, you have to add them in the variable total. Okay, so again you have filled this blank in which you will write code to add the marks entered by the user to the variable total. Okay, and then increment the grade counter. Again we are counting how many grades have been incremented. So every time a grade is entered on line number 11, we will at the end of the body of the while loop we will increment the grade counter. Okay, so this loop will continue. It will get grades from the user. Every time it will add the grade to the total and then increment the counter. Okay, and remember the question told you at the top that you have to get the class average for 10 students. Okay, so you have to get input from the user 10 times, okay, for 10 students, and then you will basically add them to total, and we'll move to the next part later. Okay, so let's solve this part first. So again this gave you an idea hopefully that what should be the condition of this while loop, how many times this while loop should run. Okay, so let me ask somebody who is present. Okay, Sayyida Hafsanis, are you there? Sayyida Hafsanis, are you there? Okay, no answer. So we continue with the ladies. The next in line is Sirat Abdul Sattar. Are you there? Sirat Abdul Sattar, are you there? Okay, no response. We move to Saleh Durrani. Are you there? Saleh Durrani, are you there? Okay, it seems a boycott by the ladies, but we'll just finish the list. So, who else is here? Mahanur Malika, are you there? Mahanur, we can't hear you. Your mic is unmuted, but we can't hear you. You can type in the chat if the mic is not working. Mahanur, you can type in the chat if the mic is not working for you. We can't hear you. Okay, no response from Mahanur, so we move further ahead. Okay, Alishba, it's your turn. Can you hear us? While grade counter, okay, let's Alishba answer. Grade counter less than equal to 10. Okay, good. So how many times this loop should run? Alishba? 10 times, very good. Okay. So grade counter has been initialized to 1, and if we are incrementing it by 1 every time in the body of the loop, so it should run equal, I mean the condition should be grade counter less than equal to 10. Okay, so for equal to 10 it should run. Since it is starting from 1, so from 1 to 10 it will be incremented 10 times. Okay, so it will be while loop will be run 10 times from 1 to 10. So the condition should be grade counter less than equal to 10. Okay, very good. But when you will write the answer, you will only write the code that should replace the missing line. Okay, so you will, in your answer you will not write while and the parenthesis. You should only write the condition, only the code that is missing. Okay, so it should be like grade counter less than equal to 10. Okay, so in your answer sheet, you will be given a space for every blank, and you will only write the relevant code, only the code that will be replacing the blank. Okay, the code that is already given, you should not make it part of your answer. Okay, is it clear to everybody? That you should only, in your answer sheet, you will only be writing the code that will be replacing the blank, not the code already given on the sheet. So for this line number 8, the answer would be grade counter less than equal to 10. Very good. So this is one answer for this question. And then you enter the grade, and on line number 11, you take the input from the user. Okay. So Alishba, could you please continue? C in grade line. Very good. Okay. So we have a variable grade, which the comment tells us that it would be used to store the value of one grade. Okay. So every time the user inputs a grade, we will store it in the variable grade. So C in grade is the answer for line number 11. Very good. Alishba, please move to line number 12. Add the grade to total. Very good. Total is equal to, that's already given, and you have to replace a blank. So that should be total plus grade. Fantastic. And next, line number 13, increment the grade counter. Since we have to terminate the loop, so every time we have to increment the grade counter plus plus. Very good. Okay. So this is the part of the body of the while loop. Okay. So this will continue 10 times, and every time the grade that user enters, it will be first stored in the variable grade, and then it will be added to variable total. So after the while loop finishes, the variable total will contain the sum of all the 10 grades or marks entered by the user. Okay. So after the while loop, on line number 15, the comment is telling you to calculate the average of the scores. Okay. So we have the total, and how can we calculate average from total? Alishba, on line number 15, what should be the answer? Divide by 10. Very good. So in the answer sheet, you will be basically provided space for every blank, and you will have to fill in that blank the code that will be replacing the blank. Okay, so all the answers that Alishba gave are correct, and you should be filling the code exactly like this. Was this a self-esteem boost? Yes, you can think of it like this, like, you know, those, no, it's not a good example. So it's to, yes, to boost your morale, make you happy, etc. So, okay, before I answer the further question, are there any questions about this type of questions, about type 3 questions? Can it be total divided by grade counter? Where? Which line you're talking about? No share. And number 15, average is equal to double total divided by grade counter. Yes, it's the same. I mean, no, because when the while loop finishes, what will be the value of grade counter? As Mohammad Faris said, by that time the value of grade counter would have become 11, and if you divide the total by 11, then you will be getting the wrong average. Okay, it would have been correct if the value of grade counter was 10 after the while loop, but in this case, by the time while loop finishes, grade counter will be 11, and it will make your answer wrong. Is it clear, Mashir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So anybody else has any questions about type 3 questions? Okay, so if there are no questions, then let us move to Mohammed Fare's question. In the exam, will the question of the third type be relatively straightforward as this, or can include more complicated scenarios with pointer functions, etc.? We'll try to cover all the topics that we have studied in the course. Okay, so I mean, in all of these sections, type 1, type 2, type 3, we'll try to cover all the topics. So yes, they might include functions, pointers, etc., etc. Any other questions about the exam? Okay, so let me tell you how many questions will be in the paper each time. Okay, so first of all, the weightage for all these three type of questions will be equal. Okay, let's say if the exam is of 90 marks, assume. Okay, so 30 marks will be for question number, I mean type 1 questions, 30 marks will be for type 2 questions, and 30 marks will be for type 3 questions. Okay, so the weightage in the exam in terms of marks of these three types of questions will be equal. So how many questions will be there? I am not sure, but let's say to give you an idea, if the paper was of 90 marks, then it might happen that you might get, for 30 marks of type 1 questions, you might get 30 questions. Okay. For 30 marks of type 2 questions, you might get 15 questions. Okay. And for 30 marks of type 3 questions, you might get 30 fill in the blanks. Okay, so the duration of the exam will be like from somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. So you will get approximately 2 to 3 minutes for every question or every mark. Okay. Any other question about the exam? Okay, so if you guys not any question, I'll go to the comments. Can you upload the pre-finals, total absolute? We'll try to do it before the final. Okay, next week, by the end of next week, we'll try to upload all the pre-finals. So you guys, you know your midterm marks, you guys know your most of the quizzes marks and assignments, and a couple of quizzes are left. We'll try to upload it next week. Maybe we'll discuss it later, including the weightage to the weightage is given in the what's it called, syllabus, which is on the CMS. Okay, so weightage for final, mid, quiz, assignment, etc. is on the syllabus. Any other comment? A on 80 or no? I don't know. I'll ask the other instructors how it's done usually here, and we'll do the usual way. So can't say anything about that right now. Any other questions about the finals? Because this was our last class, I think. Okay, so we guys will be meeting in the finals now. Hopefully, when you will be here. So any questions? Will we have classes next week? No, I don't think so. So if you guys have any questions, now's the time. About finals or anything else, about any topic that you guys are still confused about. Okay, for topics, what we can do is we can perhaps have a session next week if you guys have any questions, etc. So I'll send you a mail. We can have a question on not a question, a session on Tuesday or Wednesday. जी Okay, so valid questions are only about the exam topics of the course, etc. Average of quizzes, I don't know. I have just released the marks today, so I don't know. We'll have to calculate it. Your recommendation is to study from a textbook exercises. Yes, I think textbooks exercises would be good. You can try them, and then if you have more time, then you can try Google C questions or C++. But the problem is if you type C++ questions, then C++ has a lot of things that we have not yet studied. Okay, so you might studied and that may waste your time. So perhaps starting from the book exercises is a good idea. Trying doing that lab project, that would also clarify some concepts. Any other question about exam, course topics, etc.? Okay, so if there are no more questions, then I would take your leave. Sorry, I apologize for making you guys stay late, but today was the last class, so I thought that if we can discuss the final and other things today also, that way you guys can be free for once. And I'll announce an optional session next week. If anybody has any questions, confusions, you guys can come to discuss it over there. It will be Tuesday or Wednesday. So thank you very much and good luck for your preparations, exams, etc. And see you guys on campus soon in a couple of weeks. Okay? So have fun, program, rest, eat, sleep, and see you guys next week. Next week maybe. Okay, so I'll stop this recording and I'll upload these two sessions, recording for today's sessions. So if you guys want to consult something later, you can consult it in the recorded videos. Okay? So stopping the recording and